The materials needed for this activity are a clear plastic container with fresh water, salt, food coloring, cooking oil colored with black tempura paint or molasses, a large cooking pan, sand, cleanup materials such as cotton balls or swabs, paper towels, sponges, an empty container for used materials, and liquid detergent. Every year throughout the West Indies, there are small oil spills. The islands are on the major oil shipment routes to and from South America and oil-producing nations like Venezuela and Trinidad. Thousands of supertankers crisscross the Caribbean every year. One serious accident, a collision or a sinking in a tropical storm, could do irreparable damage to the mainstay of the West Indies economy, tourism. The sandy beaches and coral reefs would be wiped out overnight if a vessel half the size of the Exxon Valdez went down. This oil supertanker ran aground in Prince William Sound, Alaska in 1990, carrying millions of tons of crude oil from Alaska's North Slope oil fields, destined for California. Despite millions of dollars spent on cleanup and restoration, the Sound's ecosystem has still not yet fully recovered. Fortunately, this has not yet happened here, but it is always a distinct possibility. In 2010, the deepwater oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico affected more than 8,000 animal species, including birds, sea turtles, and marine mammals, which were either found injured or dead in the 6 months after the spill. Oil-coated coastal marshes and other wetlands contaminated sediments, poisoning wildlife and smothered salt marsh grasses and other wetland vegetation. It is believed that it will take many years to know the real damage that was caused due to the oil spill, damage which continues until this day. This event shows that even a developed country like the United States of America is not capable of handling such a disaster. An accident similar to the Deepwater Horizon oil spill could wipe out the Belize and Guyanese coastlines. In the meantime, many other vessels ply the Caribbean Sea, from huge cruise ships to freighters carrying every cargo imaginable. These vessels are often the cause of small spills, or worse, illegally pump their bilges while afloat. The oil from small spills and illegal dumping ends up in the same place, on our beaches, mangroves, and reefs. During the loading and unloading of tankers, whether it is to pump oil into refineries or storage tanks, or to ship the refined products, there are often spills caused by carelessness or accidents. Offshore drilling is the practice of drilling a well to extract oil and gas resources that are found underwater. This term is generally used when referring to oil drilling in ocean waters, but it also includes drilling in lakes and inland seas. Offshore drilling raises global environmental concerns that are due to the potential of an oil spill into ocean waters and onto the shore during the drilling process and while the oil is being transported back to the coast. In addition, the drilling can potentially disrupt the marine life and ocean environment. In February 2010, the Geology and Petroleum Department granted massive oil exploration permissions throughout the country of Belize, including marine reserves and national parks. Offshore drilling of this extent would be devastating to Belize's tourism and fishing industry, and it would also affect the livelihood of coastal communities highly dependent on marine resources. In the past year, discoveries off the coast of Guyana are leading to a rush to start drilling. These activities show what would happen to organisms that float on the surface, such as seabirds, ducks, seaweed, or plankton, or those that need to come to the surface to breathe, such as sea turtles, whales, or seals. They'd be coated with oil. Explain that over time, water and oil mix somewhat, and that some of the oil will sink to the bottom of the ocean. Actual oil is heavier than cooking oil. What would happen to the lobsters, crabs, sea urchins, and bottom-dwelling fish? Let's talk about the activity. In order to make a beach, have students dump the sand to one end of the cooking pan. The pan represents the ocean and the sand is your beach. Then create the ocean at the other end of the tray by adding salt and food coloring to the fresh water. Now you have your ocean and beach. Isn't it wonderful? Add the molasses or tempura paint to the cooking oil and shake them up until they mix. Here comes the oil spill. This is what happens when there is an oil spill. Now you have to clean it up. As you can see, cleanup is not easy. In fact, only an average of 9% of every oil spill is recovered. The rest stays in the oceans, on the reefs, seagrass, or mangroves, effectively killing them.